for thousands of years. Ancient cultures around the world recorded stories of gods who did not emerge from the earth, but descended from the sky in blinding light. Thunder or sound were vehicles that appeared to defy the natural laws of their time. These gods were described as radiant, powerful, and technologically impossible to comprehend. But what if these beings were never divine in the supernatural sense? What if they were advanced travelers from distant worlds, interpreted as gods simply because early humanity had no other way to understand them? When we look closely at the earliest mythologies, a striking and consistent pattern emerges. The Sumerians, one of the world's oldest known civilizations, spoke of the Anunnaki, beings who descended from the heavens and shaped humanity. They brought laws, agriculture, writing, and the foundations of civilization. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, the Dogon tribe in West Africa described star beings from the Sirius system, detailing orbital patterns and celestial companions that modern science would not confirm until thousands of years later. These were not vague legends. They were precise astronomical descriptions far beyond the knowledge of the time. Further west, the Maya recorded visitors descending from the sky, offering advanced mathematics, a complex calendar system, and knowledge of planetary cycles that modern science only rediscovered much later. In Egypt, pharaohs were said to be descendants of gods who arrived in boats that sailed across the sky, and their temples depict beings wearing helmets, suits, and devices that look startlingly similar to modern breathing apparatus or communication tools. These are not isolated anomalies. They form a vast, global tapestry of stories, symbols, and artifacts that point to a shared origin, the belief that human civilization was guided or perhaps accelerated by visitors from beyond our world. Many historians dismiss these accounts as allegory or myth, but consider this. Ancient people explained the world using the language available to them. They had no vocabulary for spacecraft, no concept of advanced technology, no scientific framework for extraterrestrial life. To someone living thousands of years ago, a figure descending from the sky surrounded by light would not be seen as a traveler. They would be seen as a god. Their technology would appear as magic. Their presence would reshape the foundation of belief. Across continents, carvings and sculptures reveal humanoid figures, wearing what appear to be helmets with visors, suits with tubing, and instruments resembling modern-day tools. These similarities exist despite the cultures never having contact with one another. How is it that civilizations separated by oceans created such similar depictions of sky beings? Why did they all describe the same types of visitors arriving from the heavens, teaching knowledge, and then promising to return? And then there are the structures, massive monuments built with engineering precision that puzzles modern experts. The Great Pyramid of Giza aligns almost perfectly with true north and mirrors the position of Orion's belt. The stones at Baalbek weigh hundreds of tons, far beyond the lifting capability of ancient tools, yet they were placed with astonishing accuracy. At Pumapunku, stones were carved with machine-like precision, featuring perfectly straight cuts and right angles that remain difficult to replicate even today. How did early humans, supposedly limited by primitive tools, construct such advanced architecture at the level we are only beginning to understand? Perhaps the answer is that they didn't do it alone. Perhaps they were following designs or instructions from beings who possessed knowledge far beyond our own. Ancient civilizations often stated that their knowledge was given to them, not invented by them. They didn't claim to create mathematics, astronomy, or complex calendars. They said these gifts came from the sky. Even the origins of humanity raise questions. Some creation stories describe humans being shaped, formed, or modified by the gods, almost as if humanity was part of a deliberate intervention or genetic experiment. Ancient texts from Mesopotamia speak of gods who worked together to fashion mankind from the dust of the earth, giving them intelligence and purpose. Could these stories be symbolic retellings of something more literal encounters with beings who possessed the ability to guide evolution or impart knowledge directly? If these ideas are true, then our understanding of human history becomes incomplete. Even deliberately edited, early humanity may not have been isolated, struggling alone in a vast and empty universe. Instead, we might have been part of a larger cosmic network, visited and instructed by travelers who had already mastered the stars. And if they came once, what is stopping them from coming again? Would we recognize them today, or would we still cling to old interpretations, calling them angels, demons, or gods? Or would we finally see them for what they truly might be, advanced civilizations reaching across the galaxy, continuing a relationship that began long before recorded history? These questions challenge everything we think we know about our past. But sometimes, the truth is hidden in the stories we dismiss as myths. Sometimes, legends are simply memories of events so extraordinary that ancient people had no choice but to call them divine. Subscribe for more hidden truths and ancient mysteries, and if you're curious about what might still be waiting beyond our sky, remember this. The story of humanity may be far older and far stranger than we were ever taught.